Hey, hey.
Don't let the universe forget.
Right. Right.
I think we're good.
All right.
That's for session.
Start.
Brilliant.
Should we start?
Yeah, Dustin, what's your organization?
Native Generational Change. It's in the group.
Is that on
Group
Facebook?
setting. Yeah. Yeah.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Thanks everybody for coming. Thank you, everyone, for coming. The first ever University of Montana Raise Your Voice Justice Rally. Buddy of mine, this is brought to you by the Black Student Union at the University of Montana and Native Generational Change for Montana as well. Myself, my name is LaShawn George. I am the president of the Black Student Union. This is my companion, my co-freedom fighter, my indigenous brother, Dustin.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody that came out here. This is something that's really, I would say, historical, especially here in Montana, where a lot of times, a lot of different groups were not ever working together. I think throughout United States history, a lot of us have been the conquering divide rather than actually having people of color actually come together and working, because usually it's other people. But this was directly, with me and LaShawn and Jesse that really helped out. I want to give him a big, round of applause. He really made this happen, brought a bunch of people together. Different organizations, Empower Montana, love to thank them. Awesome organization. And also the YWCA, Ari. She also could not be here today, but she was also part of the planning process. And yeah, I just think it's really historical. I've grown up in Montana all my life, ever since I was a little kid, and I've always wondered why people of color in Montana never actually came together and put it. Because when you look at the stats for Montana, Native Americans, we are the largest majority in Montana, but Montana is changing. Missoula is a perfect example of the demographics that are changing, and as people of color, we need to come together because we do share the same concerns. Where Native Americans and African Americans are killed at the highest rates. And these are things that we don't talk about, and we think these are coming from other cities, or this isn't in my neighborhood or my backyard, when this is happening in our backyard. And in Native American communities, I can speak for that we are losing a lot of percentage, and we do have a lot of crimes that, happen and aren't ever talked about. And, and I was talking with LaShawn here, a lot of his problems are very similar to mine. So why don't we work together and actually start talking about it, because that's where change starts. And that's what we really want to talk about this. This is not going to be something that we just have a rally and then we stop. No, we're actually going to push for changes in the local Missoula community by creating accountability. And that's the biggest thing all we're looking for. We're not trying to bash on police, or we're not trying to bash on government authorities. We just want accountability, at the end of the day. And that's the biggest thing. And I think as a, as an American citizen, I think we all want that. Some of the things that we're going to talk about here today is also we're going to talk about some of the atrocities that are going on in Standing Rock Reservation. And some of the people that have actually been there, and we've actually seen some stuff that, like, you would think it was out of a movie. You would think this isn't happening. This couldn't happen in today's age because we have come so far. But no, we haven't come as far as we'd love to think that we have in today's society. Because the atrocities that are happening are only one state away. But yet our state government won't say anything about it. But you know what I did about that? I actually asked them, and I'm going to be on NBC, actually for the government debate, the governor's debate, and my question got through. So we're going to ask them directly about Standing Rock, and if you were elected governor, what would you do to have that, make sure that doesn't change here? And so what we need to start doing is voicing our opinions, because we are the next generation, and making that happen. And if we can do stuff like that and it comes up, we need to take advantage of that. And even if you're not a minority, and you support our causes, because we all live in a community, And so my issues should be your issues, because your issues are my issues. And you should always remember that. I'll let Sean take forward.
Thank you, brother. I couldn't have said it better myself. Again, thank you all for coming out today, showing your support and being in solidarity with communities dealing with brutality and injustice, right? So we're going to have a couple of speakers here today. At the end, we're going to have a call to response, and then we're going to have a little march, and we're going to go to the bridge on Arthur, and we're going to drop our banner, all right, claiming that Black Lives Matter, Native Lives Matter, water is life. Okay? So first, I guess I'm up first. So welcome again. Like I said before, I'm the president of the Black Student Union at the University of Montana, but a little bit of history first, okay? We have the oldest Black Student Union in the nation. I know Cal started in 1968. Yep, that's true, we do. I know Cal started in 1968, ours began in 1967, okay? We have the third oldest African American Studies program in the nation. Dr. Ulysses S. Doss, friend of Martin Luther King, freedom fighter, civil rights icon. After his friend was murdered in Memphis, obviously there was some vicarious trauma experience with that. He needed to get out of the South. He came to little old Missoula, Montana, because he had a couple of friends who were with him, a couple of lawyers who were also involved in the civil rights movement, to get away from the South because it was just too violent at the time, and it continues to be too violent. He was offered a job by Dr. Panzer. He started the third oldest African American Studies program in 1968. Under that legacy, under that framework, we are out here today, right? No longer, like Dr. King said, in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Silence is violence. I know in Missoula, we like to feel that we're insulated from a lot of issues that happen in other communities. But no longer can we stand by and not do anything, not say anything, when brutality and injustice is happening in other communities. No longer can we stand by when 1 in 7 individuals in Montana goes hungry. No longer can we stand by when we have missing Indigenous and Native women. No longer can we stand by when our water, our natural resources are being threatened, whether they're in Standing Rock, whether they're in Flint, Michigan, whether they're in Louisiana, whether they're in the Oak Bluff Apache Nation in Arizona. We stand united with these communities, and we will say no longer. Or maybe it's because I'm a father. I got a son now. 12 years, 15 years from now, when he looks at me in my eyes and asks me, what did I do? How did I make my community safer? How did I make the world a better place for him so that when he goes out at night, or he goes to class, or he goes to church, people don't view him as a second-class citizen just because of the color of his skin? People will look beyond his phenotype and see that he is a human being. He is an American that has the right to life, liberty, and that pursuit of happiness, right? No matter what color you are, no matter what gender you identify with, no matter what community you come from, if you are experiencing brutality, injustice, and violence, Native Generational Change and the Black Student Union are standing with you. We no longer will stay silent. If you need help, you need support, please reach out. We have pamphlets in the back. We have information for sign-in sheets. Let's stay in contact. Let's create change. This does not end after this rally today. This is the beginning of a further dialogue between the community and the authorities, because accountability is responsibility. We are all accountable to each other. We are all accountable to Mother Earth. No longer will there be personal accountability for citizens, but not personal accountability for our representatives, for our authorities, okay? If I have to be responsible for my behavior and my actions, then so do you when you've got that oath to protect and serve me. You are responsible for me just like I'm responsible for you. No longer will we let violence and injustice occur. We need to do something. We need to stand up. An injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. So from that legacy, that perspective, we are standing today. Thank you for coming. At the end, we will be doing a call to response, and we will be marching to the Arthur Bridge to drop a banner that says Native Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, water is life. Accountability is responsibility. If you believe that, if you believe every citizen deserves life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, we are indivisible, under God, one nation, with liberty and justice for all, not just individuals who got money, not just individuals who got power. Everyone deserves justice. If you believe that, I invite you to join with us and take a stand, okay? Thank you all for coming out. Our next speaker, Dustin is going to say a couple of words.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Sean and, you know, just making this happen. Everybody that's coming around, if you're out there, just come and listen. You know, you don't have to. Is that Shane? Shane, get over here. But yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody that's, you know, come out today, because this is really something we've been planning, and it's something that had to be done. And if you look at this, it was coming through. We didn't wait for our representatives. We didn't wait for our mayor. We didn't wait for anybody. We just took it upon ourselves to come and bring this together. And so I'd just like to thank everybody that's come here. For myself, this journey, it started a while ago. You know, I've actually been, I've actually seen that, you know, law not represent my interest. I've actually been followed just for being brown. You know, I mean, we joke around about it, and it's in our communities. We deal with this all the time just for being brown in Montana with the police. And when you go into the court system and you look and you never see anybody that looks like you say guilty, because you don't want to go to prison for 5 to 10 years. And that's the reality, that being a brown male or even female in Montana that you come with. And basically a lot of us, when we go in there, you know, a lot of people, if they were actually to go to trial, they probably would not be convicted of a crime they did not do. But that record, it follows you through your whole life, you know, and this happens, and it's sad. It is truly sad, and I've heard this story one too many times. Or I've heard police, you know, or even have representatives come and tell me, you know, what's wrong with your communities? Well, I say what's wrong with my communities is you. That's what's wrong with my community, because you're an elected official. You know, and that's some of the times that, like, you know, I wonder and I ponder and I challenge people. It's not that I'm trying to be bug people, it's that I am trying to make a difference in my community. And if I'm going to elect somebody, I'm going to hold them accountable, a Democrat, a Republican, an independent. It doesn't matter. If you're going to stand up there and ask me for my vote, then my vote does matter, and I'm going to make sure it matters. And this is a whole different generation. Some of the things I also want to talk about is atrocities that are going on over Standing Rock. We were having dogs bite children over there, and we had a security firm hired to deal with us. How many times have we learned in our history the Indian problem? The only good Indian is a dead Indian. And that's what's going on over in North Dakota with this pipeline. And this pipeline will come if they, you know, what about if they come to Montana? It's only one state over. That's not that far, right? That could become our problem, and it is our problem. So a lot of students from the university, we are going over there right now, and we are standing strong and doing actions and taking direct action. When I mean direct action, we're stopping these trucks. We're chaining ourselves to these vehicles so they can't move anymore. We're putting our lives on the line, and this is happening from Native American youth. Black Lives Matter's been there. Nation of Islam's been there. People from South America have been there, and we've all chained ourselves to these vehicles. You know, and I don't know how scary, if you know how that is, to have to go out there and tell somebody to do that and hope the vehicle stops when you're doing that, and get people out and risk going to life and being another, you know, Peltier. I don't know if you guys know who this person is, but he's been in life his whole life for something that he believed in. And we're willing to risk our lives and die, and it's not just for our water, but it's for everybody's water in the United States. And there's been over 10,000 people at our camp that have stood up and said, hey, we're going to make a difference. And we don't matter where you come from, where you live, we all drink the same water. And even when we go to Bismarck and we hear these racist comments at us and yell at us, you dirty Indians, or how are you Indians working here? You guys don't ever have jobs. Or aren't you guys just alcoholic? We put Budweiser in that pipeline, you guys would stop. And these are the things that my children are going to have to deal with, and I say, not no more. You know, I think another thing that we have to keep accountable to is the media. When they allow these racist comments to go on, our children read this. You know, and I'm proud when I see my brothers and sisters stand up. You know? And I'm proud when my non-minority brothers and sisters stand up even more, because they're taking notice, and that's how change is going to happen. It's not going to just happen with a couple groups, us coming together. It's going to happen when we can all come together and say, this is a problem, what can we do about it? And actually make true change. And this change can happen. I just wanted to reference back to, some of the stuff that, like, there's some drives going on. We have, like, I think the student union up here is doing another one. We have about 4 drives that you can donate, because we're not leaving Standing Rock. We are staying until the president says it's time to go. Me and my family will be making another trip back there. This will be like my 4th trip, something, 3rd, 4th. And it's a spiritual camp, and we haven't used anything. We used chalupas, and that's a peace pipe. They said we were using pipe bombs. We were praying. We haven't did anything wrong except trying to protect. And it's the media that's really skewing things and trying to change the minds. And so when you see these violent protesters, if you read about that, there's no violence happening. It's young and old sitting there praying, and we pray in front of it, and it's the most courageous people you'll see. But if you see all the movements, what's happening in Standing Rock is no different than what happened in Tulsa right now. And it's going to take all of us to make a change. So I thank everybody for coming.
You are so right. Thank you, Dustin. Next up, we have Courtney Littleaxe. She's going to come up and say a couple of words. Courtney.
Ve'eshev na pivitan zekonets, wosta na hesheve, na tista na wopo mitamner. My name is Courtney Littleaxe. I am absentee Shawnee in Northern Cheyenne from Lame Deer, Montana. I had the pleasure of going over to Standing Rock, and I stayed there for a couple days. It was such a humbling experience. I really felt like I was home, like at home. It was. Sorry, like Dustin said, they make us out to be violent, and we're not violent people. When I was there, all we did was pray. We prayed and we gathered. We ate together. I was able to help in the kitchen. We helped feed the elders, because the elders usually eat first. So I had the pleasure of going in and serving them plates, and it was so nice to see everybody, like the happiness that they had when they were there. Even the children. There's a lot of children there that are getting this experience, and if you have the opportunity to go over there, I suggest you go over there and experience it, because it's so heartwarming. Let's see. Sorry. So basically what we're doing is we're trying to protect the water. But we're also not only that, what we're doing is we're making a stand and we're making a statement. We're making a statement that we're no longer going to be walked all over. We're no longer going to just, let them do whatever they want, because we have a voice. We have social media now. Social media makes a big difference. And so now that we're able to put our voices out there, and like when they sent a call for help, so now there's over, 10,000 people there. And it's worldwide now, and the world is watching. The world knows what's going on in Standing Rock, and so for social media to be such a big part of this, it's a good thing, because I can keep in touch. Everybody else can keep in touch with people that are there through social media, and it's really nice to know what's going on. I like to keep up with it, like every day. I'm constantly posting everything, that's going on over there, because I am really concerned for my brothers and sisters there. Because it's like the corporations and stuff, they're greedy, and all they want to do is just brush us under the rug, push us aside and be like, okay, well, we're going to do this, and you guys don't have any say in it. And that's not what we want. We want to be able to stand up for what we believe in, and I just think it's such a beautiful thing to see. And so if you can donate and if you can help out and in any way you can, please do, because we'll be there through the winter. I'll probably go over there in the winter for Christmas break, and so they need like coats, winter supplies and stuff now. So if you can help, please do. But thank you for listening.
Thank you, Courtney. Again, if you can donate some supplies, some real heavy-duty sleeping bags. I was talking to an individual yesterday who was in Standing Rock. The children need school supplies, okay? Food, okay? If you have any extra supplies, please donate. I know the UC is receiving donations as well. Black Student Union will start receiving donations as well. If you have anything to donate, please do, okay? Native American Center is receiving donations as well, okay? Next up, we got a brother, good brother, solid brother, Good head on his shoulders. Member of the BSU, my brother and yours, Mateo. Come on, bruh.
Thanks, LaShawn, for having me. Dustin, I loved it. Everyone for coming out. We appreciate y'all. This awareness is so essential. This police brutality thing is real. Like, I go through it. We all go through it, actually. You know, it's just asinine that it's even a thing, you know? First thing I want to talk about, though, it marries into the topic. That word, black. People always ask me, Mateo, when I see you, why are you always wearing black? Because I want to dispel that whole third grade reading level thing. We're all brown. Is that weird? It goes in with the police brutality thing because they won't admit it, you know, and this is not an attack, but as a true speaker, I just have to say, their job is to protect that classism thing, you know? It has nothing to do with race. So with that being said, you guys have to know it affects you too. All people who consider themselves white, it affects you too. Because if you're here, you're obviously here for a reason. We're all chasing the green. So you're part of the black class too. If you have a social security number, you're black too. Police brutality is real. I come from Newark, New Jersey. I've been a victim of it many a times. My uncle, my dad, my brothers. It's real. I just had a friend with a convo with one of my friends, and she was telling me about how, oh, my privilege goes a long way. When I got sat in the back of a police car, they let me use my cell phone, this, that, and the third. When I sat in the back of a police car, as calm as I am right now, they treated me like a criminal. Such a weird dichotomy. The best way to change it is just right here. The first step to solving any problem is to relish the situation. This is what we're doing right now. And I thank all of y'all for being here. That's all I have.
All right, we got our last speaker of the day. He's also a new member of the group, new member of Missoula community. Solid dude, good brother. John, come on up, say a couple words, brother.
What's going on, everybody? Truth be told, I'm from Toronto, Canada. So, you know, I've had issues with police over there, but it's not a rampant issue as it's going on in America. The last police officer that shot and killed a minority, he got sentenced to life in prison. I haven't heard about that happening in America. So, you know, I want to speak on a larger issue in the sense that a lot of police officers, you know, they gotta, you know, hit these quotas, arrest quotas, and you know, it's a game of stats, numbers game, and that just takes like the human element out of it. So when you have police officers, you know, trying to hit quotas, you know, police officers are going around looking for trouble where there isn't any trouble, and that dissolves the relationship between police officers and the community. That's going to create, you know, a lot of hostility, unnecessary problems that didn't even exist in the first place because it's just this numbers game, you know, stats and quotas and this and that, and that's a, you know, that's a larger issue that police departments need to take accountability for. I mean, Donald Trump, you know, he's running for president. He was asked about the whole Black Lives Matter and what do you think about this, and he's like, you know, I think, you know, the stop and frisk thing is a good idea. You know, I think that's a good solution to the, you know, so it's another, he's supporting the games. You know, we can't have people supporting these games, these numbers games, and you know, people need to speak out about that. Also, with regard to what's going on with, you know, Standing Rock, you know, we need to really protect the resources of this earth, and we need to support the communities that want to protect the resources of this earth. You know, the native communities, the Native communities are very rooted in this, in Mother Earth, you know, especially the natives had a lot of things taken away from them. So, you know, this is like another slap in the face what's going on in Standing Rock, and, you know, our water, the corporations are trying to commodify our water and put a price on it, and like, you know, pretty soon, you know, they're gonna start charging for air. Like we need to, we're at a point where, you know, climate change is reaching a breaking point. We need to do everything we can to stand behind any kind of movement that protects the resources of this earth. And, you know, that's very vital because water is life, you know. We need to stand behind that. So anything that we could do social media wise to support and get the word out about what's going on in Standing Rock, anything we could do social media wise online to get the word out about Black Lives Matter, like, this is, you guys are the people, you guys are the voice, you guys need to use your voice. You know, the Creator said, I was saying earlier, the Creator said, you know, use your voice or it'll be taken away from you, you know? Use your voice, and, you know, we gotta utilize that. Don't let the universe regret you. We're all here for a reason. We gotta, like, you know, do what we gotta do to protect what's real, you know? That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, John. So now we're going to have a little call and response. We have 2 banners. These are all individuals' names who have been brutalized. These are all the communities facing injustice right now. So I'm going to say a name, and then I urge you to repeat the name after I say it. Okay? We remember Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
We remember Alan Bluford.
Alan Bluford.
We remember Hubert Burns Jr.
Hubert Burns Jr.
We remember Mike Brown.
Mike Brown.
We remember Philando Castile.
Philando Castile.
We remember Jamar Clark.
Jamar Clark.
We remember Daniel Covarrubias.
Daniel Covarrubias.
We remember Corinne Gaines.
Corinne Gaines.
We remember Eric Garner.
Eric Garner.
I'm going to butcher this brother's name right now. We remember Mahivisit Good Blanket.
Mahivisit Good Blanket.
We remember Freddie Gray.
Freddie Gray.
We remember Akai Gurley.
Akai
We
Gurley.
remember Rexdale Henry.
Rexdale Henry.
We remember 7-year-old Ayanna Jones.
Ayanna Jones.
We remember Corey Kanosh.
Corey Kanosh.
We remember Sarah Lee Circlebear.
Sarah Lee Circlebear.
We remember Jesse Lee Rose.
Jesse Lee Rose.
We remember Alan Locke.
Alan Locke.
We remember Laquan McDonald.
Laquan McDonald.
We remember Lance McIntyre.
Lance McIntyre.
We remember 12-year-old Tamir Rice.
Tamir Rice.
We remember Miles Rough Surface.
Miles Rough Surface.
We remember Jacqueline Sayers.
Jacqueline Sayers.
We remember Walter Scott.
Walter Scott.
We remember Joanne Sherman.
Joanne Sherman.
We remember David Sal Silva.
David Sal Silva.
We remember Yvette Smith.
Yvette Smith.
We remember Alton Sterling.
Alton Sterling.
We remember Christina Tahahawa.
Christina Tahahawa.
We remember L'Oreal Singhi.
L'Oreal Cindy.
We remember Phil Quinn.
Phil
We
Quinn.
remember Melissa Williams.
Melissa Williams.
We remember the brother who was just brutalized in North Carolina this week. We remember the brother Terrence, who was brutalized in Tulsa, Oklahoma this week. We stand in solidarity and support with Standing Rock, North Dakota.
Standing Rock, North Dakota.
We stand in solidarity with Flint, Michigan.
Flint,
We
Michigan.
stand in solidarity with the Central Valley of California.
Central Valley, California.
We stand in solidarity with the individuals of St. Joseph, Louisiana.
St. Joseph,
We
Louisiana.
stand with the individuals of Oak Flat, Arizona.
Oak Flat,
We
Arizona.
stand with the individuals of Butte, Montana, right here at home.
Butte, Montana.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a time where we need to act. Silence is violence. If you are silent, you are complicit. No longer. We need change, real change, substantive change. I'm a first-generation American. Both my parents are immigrants, one from St. Lucia, one from the island nation of Dominica. I was born in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands. I had to gather rainwater to bathe. I understand how important water is. You should as well. Without water, we got nothing. Silence is violence. Stand with us, stand with other communities. I invite you to march with us down to the Arthur Bridge. We're going to drop our banner and let the world know that University of Montana Black Student Union, Native Generational Change is here to help. Okay? No longer will we remain silent. Thank you all for coming.
I'd like to say, just let you guys know, even in Montana, we don't have clean drinking water on our reservations. Growing up, my water came out, it was all cloudy, and that's how we were told to deal with it, is wait for it to sit. But on most reservations in Montana, we don't have clean drinking water. That's something that we don't talk about, nor do the state government. They say they get filters for us. We can't drink our water. And now the study's coming out, we're seeing what it does to babies and women and our rates, but we never talk about this. And so sometimes when you think this is in somebody else's backyard, you know, the communities that are right by our reservations, we're not just siloed into our communities. There's water flows throughout them and throughout Montana. And there's a lot of places in rural Montana that are dirty and contaminated from like gold rushes or different things like this that we had in Montana. And so this problem does affect us right here at home. And one of the things, you know, I heard Mini Wachoni, that's one of the things, water is life. But one of the biggest things I took away from the camp, I took away from the elder, was this can't just happen here at Standing Rock. Bring Standing Rock home with you. Bring this home with you. And that's what they challenged everybody at the elder when she spoke at night. She said, make a change in your community. And that was one of the biggest things that we're trying to do, is we're trying to bring that whole thing and make a change for the 7th generation. It's like Sean said, you know, when your children look at you, what are you going to be able to say? What are you going to say? Hey, I sat back and I let somebody else do it? Or are you going to be able to look at your children and say, hey, I made a difference? And that's why we have it today, and be able to smile at them internally and know that you made a difference in the next generation. Thank you.
So, the track that we're going to take, the path that we're going to take, we're going to go this way. We're going to go past the TP burner statue, right? We're going to go down past the Adams Center. Please stay out of the street, please. We don't want to impede traffic, right? Or individuals getting to class or coming from class, right? We're going to go left and go down and go over the footbridge on Arthur, okay? And we're going to drop our banner, put our stake in the sand or in the land, and then we're going to continue this dialogue and actually do something about this violence and injustice. Thank you all again. Let's march.
Okay, so everybody compares the buttons.
The fact that our leaders won't speak out on it.
War!